I'm Anthony from Learning to Play the Guitar. This video is the first in a series of videos I'm going to call Jumping into Jazz. The idea of these videos is to get people playing jazz music on the guitar. So the tune we're going to look at here is Autumn Leaves, and what we're going to do with Autumn Leaves is we're going to play arpeggio patterns over the chord changes of this particular tune and use these arpeggios to create a guitar solo. So first off, I'm going to run through what the basic chords are in this tune. From the very start of the song, we're actually going to do this song in the key of G minor, so which means the last chord will actually be G minor, not the first chord. So the first chord we're dealing with here is C minor 7, then we have an F7, we have a B flat major 7, an E flat major 7, an A half diminished, or A minor 7 flat 5, a D7, and then a G minor or G minor 7 probably. There's also some extra chords at the end that are thrown in, which include G minor 7, C7, F minor 7, and B flat 7. But that's basically all the chords that are actually in the tune itself as I go around in a pattern. So this version of Autumn Leaves is in the key of G minor, and so over this entire tune you can actually get away just playing a G natural minor scale, or the G Aeolian mode, which would be G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, which is quite fine. And so you can use these notes of the scale as well to fill in between playing these chord tones. While using the scale to improvise is good, it's also good to be able to use elements of the chords, such as the arpeggios, as we're talking about here, to create a solo. So then people can hear that you're playing through the changes, as they say. So it isn't just sound like you're noodling on a scale, but you're actually playing notes that relate to the chords. So, but what we're going to do with these chords is we're also going to extend them further, as they're called, to add extensions to these chords, where with the minor 7, so say we had C minor 7, which would be the root, the third, the fifth, and the seventh. We're also going to add in what's called the ninth, which in this case will be a D note down here on fret 3. So we can go root, third, fifth, seventh, ninth. The idea of adding these extensions into these chords is to give it more colour and flavour, which is generally what you'll hear with in jazz music, to make things sound more sophisticated and interesting versus like a rock thing where it might just be plain C minor. Generally a jazz player will play C minor 7 or a C minor 9 even, or even other variations of that. So what we're going to do here as an exercise throughout this entire tune is we're going to play arpeggio patterns through the chord changes as it goes along. So what we'll do initially, before I actually play the whole thing, I'll just demonstrate some of the main patterns that I'm going to use in the exercise here. So first off, we'll have C minor 9, which is going to be this note here, which is a C, it's an E flat, it's a G, it's a B flat, and a D. Also can be labelled as root, third, fifth, seventh, and ninth of the chord. So that's for the C minor 9. When we get to F7, we're going to change that to F9, which is then adding this extra note into the tune. So we're going to have F, A, C, E flat, and G, played in this particular way, or can be labelled as root, third, fifth, seventh, and ninth. So this is for the dominant 7 F7 chord. So that's basically giving you the dominant sound versus the minor sound from the C minor chord. The next chord is a major 7 chord normally, but we're going to make that a major 9, so which will be B flat. So note wise here, just the basic pattern would be B flat, open D, F, A, C, A, back to the F if you like, so it's one up and down then, sorry, or root, third, fifth, seventh, ninth, which is the C in this case, so it sounds nice and jazzy. Then we go to E flat major 7 normally, but we're going to make an E flat major 9 arpeggio to go over the top of this chord, which will be E flat, G, B flat, D, F, or root, third, fifth, seventh, ninth. So these are for major chords. Now we're going to get to the minor 7 flat 5, what's known as the half diminished, so it's a minor 7 chord with a flattened 5th. And so here I'm going to, for the moment, just jump it all the way up here to fret 7, which is another A, so this is an A minor 7 flat 5, or half diminished, but we're going to also add in the 9th, which will make it, in this case, a flat 9 to fit the key of the song, which is G minor. So we've got a root, I'm going to go A, C, E flat, G, a little hop, to the B flat there on 11, which is the flat 9 as they call it, so it's flattened from where 9th would normally be, 1 fret down on guitar. So that's those notes also can be labelled as root, 3rd or minor 3rd, 5th, 7th, flat 9. Now we're at the D7 chord, the D dominant 7 chord. So here normally, again because of the key, we're going to have a, I think there's a couple of ways, it can be a flat 9 or a sharp 9, but for this instance we're going to go flat 9 again to fit the key of G minor, which will be an E flat note versus an E natural note. So note wise here, I'm going to stick with these high notes for the moment. D, F sharp, A, C, E flat, or root, major 3rd, 5th, 7th, flat 9, which is the E flat there. And then the final chord of this main sequence is G minor, and we're going to change G minor or G minor 7 to G minor 9. So we've got G, B flat, D, F, A, or root, minor 3rd, 5th, 7, and 9. And so now just jumping down to the bottom of the song, or the bottom of the chord sequence, where it gets a little bit fancy with those other changes, we are going to just play 7th arpeggios because they're quicker chord changes. For G minor 7, it's going to go to a C7. So G minor to a C7 is root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. In this case for G minor we're doing this G, B flat, D, F, C7, which would be root, 3rd, which is major 3rd now, 5th, 7th, or C, E, G, B flat. So we end up with this G minor 7, C, dominant 7. And so then also in this tune we're going to do the same pattern actually, but we're going to take it down 2 frets lower for F minor 7 and a B flat 7. So F down here on fret 3, root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, sorry, root, minor 3rd, 5th, 7th, if we're really technical. So it's F, A flat, C, E flat, B flat is B flat 7, B flat, D, F, A flat, root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. So I've got F minor, B flat 7. And so these little patterns, G minor, C7, F minor, B flat 7, sound like this. G minor, C7, F minor, B flat 7. And so these things are called 2/5 progressions, and they're very common in these older jazz songs, jazz standards as they're called. And so when people learn jazz music, they'll practice these patterns just like I'm practicing there, and you can recycle these into other jazz tunes such as Summertime and things like that, which are very common, well-known jazz tunes which you'll hear a lot at jazz gigs and or jams as well. If you're going to go to a jazz jam, it's a great way to meet other people who like to play jazz as well. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to play through the whole chord sequence of Autumn Leaves, playing these arpeggio patterns all the way through, and I'm going to go up and down for each bar, and you'll see this in the tab as well. So say for C minor, going up and down, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and or root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 7th, 5th, 3rd, and we can do that for every chord sequence as it goes through. And it's a bit of I think it's like Karate Kid, wax on, wax off, learning these patterns so they become automatic. It's like learning a blues lick and being able to recycle that in blues and rock songs. This is sort of the jazz equivalent of that. So once you know all these sort of patterns, which I'm going to move all over the neck, you can then use them to create your own solo. now that I've gone through playing these patterns just as pure arpeggios, I've created a solo now where we're going to sort of break up the phrasing of these patterns and so forth, and sort of mix and match a few things, skip some notes backwards and forwards, so it sounds more like what you would hear someone really play a solo over this particular tune. So it sounds less like an exercise and hopefully more like a piece of music. And so the magic of this is that all I'm doing here in the solo is I'm just playing notes from the arpeggios. I'm not using any other scales or anything else like that. So once you've mastered the arpeggio exercise here and the solo, see if you can recycle these ideas into other jazz standards or jazz tunes you would like to learn. Other ones that are great to start with are Summertime, Blue Bossa, All of Me, Solar, Billy's Bounce. There's heaps and heaps of these jazz standards, and you'll find that a lot of these older jazz standards, which most people do tend to play at gigs and at jazz jams, had very similar sort of chord progressions and patterns to them. So once you sort of get a few under your fingers, you'll begin to see the regular patterns that you can recycle throughout. Subscribe to the Learning to Play the Guitar YouTube channel for more lessons, and don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications when I upload a new video. You can also check out my books and more guitar lessons at learningtoplaytheguitar.net. Thanks for watching and keep practicing.